here we are in sunny Hobart. Is that where we are?
Well, it's actually overcast.
It's been sunny today.
But it was sunny.
It's been sunny for
Yeah,
most of the day.
it was. It's going to rain, I think.
And we are here with Melanie Spears, author, creator,
Maybe.
Founder,
Creator.
of the Gratitude Diary.
Yes.
And Giving Thanks is the company.
Givingthanks.com.au.
Givingthanks.com.au.
Yeah.
Awesome. And so we have you here, and the reason I wanted to chat to you, obviously our paths synchronized, and we happened to meet each other, and it's funny that I was packing my bags a couple of days ago to move back to Melbourne, and I came across one of your Gratitude Diaries, and after we'd already met and all of that stuff, so it's crazy that we were synchronized like that. But for those who don't know you, can you just give us a little introduction, tell us who you are?
Melanie Spears created the Gratitude Diary 10 years ago.
10 years ago?
Yeah. This one coming, 2018 will be the 10th year anniversary.
Yeah.
Just on a whim, on a spontaneous moment of creativity.
Yeah.
And it's become my life, my business, my project, my fun thing to do.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And where are you from? And
well, that's a good question. Mainly the Northern Rivers.
So that's where you're born?
Brunswick Heads.
Yeah.
Not born there, but have been living there for too long.
Forever.
But having a love affair with Hobart right now.
Okay.
So
cool.
Yeah.
And so just give us a bit of background in terms of you said it was on a whim 10 years ago, so what were you doing before Gratitude Diary?
I was a psychiatric nurse.
Okay.
Yeah, my job was, I was in the acute care after hours team, and this is with the Byron Shire Hospital, and my job was to go out and assess people, sometimes in the middle of the night, who were having some sort of either psychotic breakdown or...
It's like on call, like you...
I was on call. I was the after hour on call nurse for the Byron Shire.
Is that like the acute cases, like the...
Yeah, well my team was the acute care team.
Yeah.
So that, yeah.
And tell us some stories about that.
You really want to talk about
Definitely.
Really?
I'm intrigued, yeah.
Well, firstly, I would always...
What's some of the craziest stuff you've seen?
Well, I worked for 13 years as an acute care nurse. So one of the things that was completely obvious to me was that if I was rostered on a full moon, I knew that I was going to be up all night.
You're going to be called out.
Totally. So that phrase, like lunatic, it is totally connected to the planetary cycles and what the moon's doing and how much energy that's pumping down onto the earth. Like without a doubt.
Yeah, regardless of even, like there's a skeptic in me, I'm super open-minded, open-hearted, like I like to find out for myself if things, I don't just jump on things if they're people tell me something, I'm like I'm gonna fully believe that. I have a healthy dose of naivety and skepticism, but I think the skepticism leads a little bit more. So regardless of if I think the moon affects tides or affects people or there's astrology is a thing, I can attest myself that when there's a full moon I stay up all night, I have all this energy, so and that's my personal experience, so I can
You're living it.
Yeah,
You're living it. Well, the thing that I would notice on a waxing moon and a waning moon, I'll just explain what that is for people who don't really know. So waxing is obviously a moon that's getting incrementally bigger each day that progresses until it peaks at a full moon. So I would notice absolutely that with a waxing moon, say the 7 days prior to a full, our level of craziness, our call-out statistics, so
it's like
was peaking, and it would grow and grow and grow until we get to full moon, and the staff are almost having little, psychotic breakdowns ourselves because everything's getting really intense. And then as soon as that moon hits the full, we can almost feel kind of like some sort of release. You can almost feel like, oh, okay, well that we made it. We made it to the peak, and then things actually do start easing up a bit, and then we might have a week with no call-outs. Like,
no.
Well, yeah, in a dark moon, we may have nothing much to do at all.
Yeah.
We can catch up with our paperwork and,
Crazy.
Yeah. So I started noticing this probably 2 years into my work, and I said to my supervisor, "Do you realise that people go really crazy according to the moon cycle?" And he said, "No, that's crazy."
That's what I mean. Yeah.
And I thought, nah, I'm onto something here.
Yeah.
I'm totally onto something.
And it stayed the same. It remained.
It remains the
like
same.
Yeah. The statistics proved like the amount of calls and anecdotal evidence. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And how'd you get into that? Were you a nurse prior, or how'd you end up in the acute psychiatric ward in?
Well, my mum's a nurse, so I guess it was just something that I knew because my mum it was a family thing. It's a genetic thing, I guess. You just follow in the footsteps of your parents. So I just left school at 17 and went to uni and got a degree and just became a nurse. Yeah. But it was only when I graduated that I was really asking myself what to do, and I was more interested in psychology than clinical, general nursing, and I didn't really like blood.
Make it a bit woozy.
Yeah. I didn't really like injecting people. I mean, I can do that. I can do because obviously we have to medicate our clients, and one of my jobs for acute care was actually going around and giving injections to people with antipsychotics in the leg because they were on scheduled treatments that had to be given by law. So I had to go and give them. But honestly, I really don't like the blood and guts of it all.
I have a few friends who are in the emergency ward, and that's you never know what you're gonna get. You got limbs removed, and
that felt like too much responsibility to me. Whereas
emergency ward.
Yeah. But whereas psychology and like psychosis and mental health, I just felt way more comfortable.
So what's your take on that? Like, I know a lot of people will be like really against kind of Western medicine in the sense of taking care of mental illness, and there's some people who are all for it, who have been through the system. I have some friends who have been committed to do mental ward and things, and they say it saved their life, and who are advocating for it. There's others who think that it should be dealt with more of an Eastern kind of methodology. Like, what's your stance on all that?
Whoa, you really want to go down that rabbit hole?
Well, while we're up here.
Gee, okay, I have really strong views about this.
Yeah, cool, awesome. That's what we're after.
I am a total believer in the fact that we're multidimensional beings. And
what do you mean by that?
That there are entities and beings who live in different dimensions than this 3D dimension that we live in right now. So that there are other life forms that we don't necessarily see with our eyes.
How can I just interrupt and ask a few about that? What led you to those beliefs, to these? Like, how'd you get there?
A few personal experiences where I had access to other dimensions.
You care to share about those, or?
Well, ayahuasca journeys for 10 years, and consciously.
So for those who don't know what ayahuasca is, you want to?
Okay. Well, it's a plant, and traditionally known as the mother plant and the mother energy. And you make a tea, and she comes on a vine, and it's an hallucinogenic, but so much more than hallucinogenic. So when I take ayahuasca, I often see other beings.
So the ayahuasca, the vine, which is the Banisteriopsis carpi, the vine of the gods.
Yes.
That's the vine, and then were you taking with the Psychotria viridis?
Yes, we had a mix of it as well.
And that's the combination of the two. One is the MAO inhibitor, and the other one is the psychoactive, the plant itself, and it has high doses of dimethyltryptamine.
Okay, so you know your plants.
So
I just drink it, you stop.
So DMT is naturally occurring in the human brain. It's released when we're born. Gets released. We have like a spurt of it when we die, or we have like peak experiences. When people like mothers lift up cars and like any of these peak
Exactly.
experiences, we have a burst of this DMT in our brain. Even when we're dreaming at night, when we have like deep gamma states, the DMT gets released, and it is highly psychoactive and psychotropic. So which means you will have visions and you'll have access to these other dimensions that you were talking about. So carry on with your.
Well, so that's just one aspect of what the beings that I kind of had direct contact with. But the other side of that is. I got into doing some really, really hardcore emotional release work, and I went down a rabbit hole with the realm of bringing back the okayness to feel and express emotions. So I did some work with AJ Miller, who teaches like really, really deep work on accessing grief or accessing trauma or accessing pain, accessing rage and anger. So I started doing this accessing work just in the safety of my own home. I would use punching bags, and I would use I would allow myself to be triggered, and I would start allowing myself to feel, and then I would start expressing it with my throat and my voice, and actually like scream, literally.
Yeah. So like screaming the house down.
Just kind of screaming the house down and kicking the shit out of stuff.
Did you have flatmates or neighbours?
Yeah, I did all of that. But I would set it up and I would say to people, look, I'm doing this thing. I'm really experimenting with, my willfulness, like my will energy.
Yeah. Really going there.
Really, really going there and not being afraid of the feeling what I feel. As opposed to just stuffing stuff away in little pockets. And
that doesn't feel nice. I'm just gonna
like push that
a little bit.
Push that away. Yeah. So Nat blinds back. And do you want to pull the window down? I'm just closing the window. Windy Hobart. So the funny thing is with this accessing work, AJ Miller actually talks about the fact that we are multidimensional beings, and there's entities everywhere, and a part of our emotionality can often, this is getting back to the psychiatric nursing, a part of our overwhelming emotional body is often we have entities that are attached to our spirit bodies. So you could have a particular trauma that you haven't dealt with, and your law of attraction will then bring to you the entities in spirit world who also have the same trauma or the same frequency, if you like, of trauma as you, and then they will hang around you, looking to you as the light, looking to you as the person who's actually going to fix it for them. So it's almost like you're an empathic or a compassionate relationship. So the way to and so then just take it one step further, when you have too much emotionality that's not being in the light or being felt or being
expressed or acknowledged,
not being met, let's just say not being met within self, that literally changes the chemical, the blood chemistry of the brain, and that's what creates mental illness and mental imbalances, schizophrenia. And when people, so I have a brother who struggled with hearing voices when he was a kid. So when people say to me, the voices are saying this, they actually are hearing voices. And I will argue with my supervisor, because I clicked into this pretty early on, and I was with old school nurses, and I would say to them, these guys are actually hearing these voices, and they looked at me as if I was mad and said, this chick's way off the planet. But they are actually hearing voices. They're hearing entities from other dimensions. And the entities, depending on what the trauma was, especially if you're looking at sexual abuse, these are not entities of a high vibration. They're not entities who are carrying very much love. So you can literally get hammered by the spirit world if you've got an emotionality within yourself that hasn't been dealt with. And that's what mental illness is.
And so for you to be working amongst that, and you said you would have to go and sedate people or have them on a timed, a regime of whatever it might be, once a day, 4 times a day. I don't know what it was like, but what was your feeling around that, and how did you?
Well, it's sedation. That's exactly what it is. So in the mental health industry, there is absolutely no money being spent on the cause of mental illness. So they don't look at nutrition. They don't look at diet. They don't look at the spiritual body. They don't look at trauma.
No, we don't. It's us really.
It's us. We don't look at trauma.
Yeah.
We don't look at childhood illnesses. We don't look at childhood environmental situations.
The nurture.
None of that, which is fundamental in anyone's recovery process, no matter what you have. None of those things are actually getting looked at. So really, the only thing we're offering is sedation. So after 13 years of sedating really unwell people, I just got jack of it, and I thought, nah, there's just no way I want to contribute to this system. I wasn't making any change.
And what was initially moving into, what was the intention? Like you felt, I could do something here, and then you sort of became jaded after a while? Or
look, I just knew that I wasn't in my truth by accepting the status quo. I just knew it, and one of the things that happened to me was I developed chronic fatigue. And when I looked at it was an interesting process actually. One day I was still working, but I had chronic fatigue. I used to drag my ass into work, go and save the...
Like you'd wake up tired and...
Always.
Yeah.
I'd go to bed exhausted and wake up tired.
Were you a coffee drinker or...?
No.
Yeah, no. Never have been?
No, but I realised that I was going against my will in order to turn up at work. Yeah. And to override my will.
Yeah.
And no, I've never been a coffee drinker.
And so was there a moment in time, like, was it like you realised it after 13 years and then a month you gave notice, or was it like you knew a year in, this isn't from, a year before you finished, or was there a moment where you're like, actually, nah?
No, it was every day, from the very beginning. I was always, something was not quite right. I wanted to do more, but I didn't know what, and I wanted to get my teeth really sunk into something, but I didn't know what that thing was. So, and when you're young, you kind of, money's a big driver. And so I would work and save up and go overseas, and
it was worth it.
It was worth it.
The holiday was.
Yeah, but I was selling out, totally selling out.
Yeah, cool. And then so from there you finished that, and then what did you get up to after there?
Well, it was an interesting day. One day I came across, some values workbook, and I just explored my values.
It was just the book on the shelf?
Yeah, maybe it was an Anthony Robbins CD I picked up at an old garage sale, an old tape. And I looked at that, and so I did this little tape, and it was about what are my values, and my values were chemical-free food.
Yeah.
My values were organic stuff, organic skincare, like that. My values were alternative and natural healing.
Yeah.
And freedom was a big one in there.
Yeah.
And then I looked at my life, and I looked at my job,
and
I thought, how can I be going around injecting people with all this chemical sedative? And I don't take a Panadol.
Yeah.
And here I am, chemically restraining people, and just eating crap food on the run because I'm at work, without time to cook proper nourishment, and knowing that all my clients were needing nourishment. So here I was, knowing that they needed this and not actually giving that to myself.
Yeah.
So I decided that I was completely working against my values, and I quit the next day.
Yeah, so it was just
It was like, hang on, I'm not living in alignment with my values.
Yeah.
So that was really...
And it was just like a no-brainer.
It was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So that was the beginning of my own, we'll call my own recovery. That was the beginning of my own personal development. It was just this decision to start living in alignment with my values. I mean, so simple, right?
It's so huge though. So the basic stuff is a lot of the time in learning and teaching. Yeah, it's the fundamentals, the foundations, the basics that make the biggest difference.
Absolutely.
The more simple it is.
And yet there's so many blocks in it.
Usually the most powerful.
In order to do that, there's so many blocks around you actually just living.
Well, simple doesn't always mean easy.
Simple, but not easy.
So it's definitely, I can relate to that for sure.
Yeah.
But that's big. Like living in alignment with your values is huge. It's something I share a lot as well. Like, and it's true that you will develop things like chronic fatigue if you're living outside of your values. It's the body's way of going, hey,
Exactly.
you're not doing what is actually what your life's demonstrating is
You're
important.
You're not living. I call it the right use of will.
Yeah.
You're not living in alignment with your own will.
Yeah.
You're going against the fundamental driver of your soul.
Yeah.
And I reckon that's what chronic fatigue is. I think it's God's foot on your head. I really do. Just driving you down and saying, nah.
Go that way.
Yeah.
Go the other way.
I don't care which way you go, but you're not going this way. You know,
This is not the way.
This is not the way for you. I'm stopping you right here.
Yeah. A lot of, not just chronic fatigue, but a lot of the anxiety, the depression, I feel it's the same. It's your body's mechanism to let you know that you're living outside of your values.
Yes.
You know?
And
I totally agree.
I want to run a workshop on this because I just love people who have chronic fatigue.
You love them.
I love them because I can see them. I can see what they're doing, and I have to ask 3 questions about their lifestyle and what they're doing. I'm like, here you go. That's why you've got chronic fatigue.
And you're like a success story. You've come out of it, so you're no longer.
Yeah, but there is no permanent healing from chronic fatigue because what I notice is as soon as I make a life decision that goes slightly the wrong way, I will get
the symptoms
will return. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
yeah.
Cool. And that was how long did you living with the?
Well, I'd say 10 years ago. So I had chronic fatigue for roughly 7 years at the end of my work career.
Yep.
And by the way, 3 weeks after I left the health industry, my chronic fatigue went away. And I was in a combi van driving out to Ayers Rock doing a trip around Australia with my dog.
I love Uluru. It's magical.
Yeah.
I'll be out there soon actually.
Yeah.
For a Wide Open Space Festival.
It is magical.
I hope to see you out there too. Hopefully we can get you out there.
I think so.
Yeah, it'll be good. So flow, this idea of flow, of being in flow, this is something I'm really interested in achieving our, I guess, potential and living our potential. You know, I feel like that's a large reason of why I came here, is to help people and to really step into that potential and reach those peak states and that flow state that you get by just being who you are, you know, who you are supposed to be, you know, but no one else can tell you who you're supposed to be, but why you came here in the first place. And for you, like, flow can mean so many different things to so many different people. So for me, really taking steps toward whatever it is you set your mind to. So it's your intention. So when you set an intention and you're just easefully and gracefully moving towards that intention, and there's not much push energy or there's not much trying about it, I feel that's when you're in flow. And there's neurochemistry involved that happens when you're in these states. There's, you know, these different kind of chemicals that get released and is kind of a peak state indicator. We won't go into that. But for you, when you're in those states of flow, you understand what I'm talking about. What does flow mean for you, and what puts you in those states?
I have a lot of you know, I'll call it divine energy. When I'm on point, I just have an unlimited amount of energy that comes through my body. I don't even really see it or identify it as mine because it comes through. You know, like I can do 12 hours in the garden, like non-stop, and you know, my body will pay for it, but the energy was actually there. So it's kind of like a tap. It's kind of like a flow of energy that just moves through. It's not necessarily mine. And so that's
like you're tapping into something.
It's like I'm tapping into a bigger energy, and that's where the gratitude diary came from. It was, you know, I got the inspiration and then the energy to do this thing. Not necessarily was it ever mine. It was never really, you know, I've got an idea. It was kind of like, this idea's dropped into my field and just, you know, it lined up.
Lovely.
Yeah.
I get the same thing writing as well. Like when I write the dopest, when I'd say, wow, whatever just came out of my pen and through me, it's definitely, I'm like, there's no way I could come up with that.
Who did that?
It's so fun. Like often it's 10 minutes or 15 minutes and I've written this song and it's really amazing, and like, I don't know, I can't take credit for that.
Take credit for that.
So I think it's the same, and it's when I'm like really kind of in a sleepy state or in between awake and asleep, or it's like in a deep meditative state, or just walking, and my mind's in those really beta kind of or theta brainwaves.
Yeah.
And that's when it's like, almost like I'm out of the way. So that tap, if you imagine a faucet or a pipe, that there's nothing in the way of the flow of that source energy coming through. It sounds something similar to this.
And that's something that I wanted to just sort of mention too, is it's one thing to just be in flow, but it's another kind of point of focus is to identify what is it that is actually stopping the flow. And I love shadow work. I really do. I love looking at what's blocking and what's inhibiting. So a lot of my attention and focus will be taken up on shadow, looking at my shadow, so that I can flow. I don't necessarily have to try too hard to be in flow, as long as I'm constantly looking at my shadow or being aware of, you know, what my negative beliefs might be, or what my perception on a particular thing might be. And as long as I'm continually challenging myself there, I think the flow is just a God-given birthright. And
it's a natural state.
It's a natural state. And the only thing I have to do is just find out what's blocking it.
It's like unlearn all the stuff that all the conditioning, the ways of being. I'd have to agree. I think that wellness and flow is essentially
and abundance.
Our natural state.
And abundance. I really do believe that abundance is our...
So tell us about abundance. So I know we hear this word flung around all the time. What's your idea of abundance?
Well, I used to run a workshop called Soul and Money, and I would like to start running them again soon.
Tell us about that.
Well...
What happens? Like, I walk into a Soul and Money, it's called?
Soul and Money group.
And what happens? How many people are...
there'd be 15 people sitting in a room, and we would all come in with our money stuff in brackets, and we're all there to look at our money issues. And the first thing that I would get you guys to do is to, you know, sit down and, you know, share a little bit about why you've come. You know, what is it that you're struggling with, and specifically what does that look like. And then we pull out our workbooks and we do some free writing, some free space writing. We'll start writing down exactly how it is for you right now in relation to money and abundance.
So your current situation? You start there. Well, you start with the intention why you came.
Intention.
And then move into just get your thoughts onto the page.
And I love the creative writing process, because within the words you can actually feel what the negative beliefs and the negative emotions are around it. So what will happen is we start identifying beliefs as a group.
So you share them out loud.
But also sharing. So what we do is you read your piece to the group, and then I will literally throw it back to the group and say, okay, can anyone pick up on what you know Zulu's potentially limiting beliefs might be in this? And someone goes, oh, I reckon you're a bit afraid of your own success here, because it's revealed in the words. It always is. And so we look at that and we just do that as a group, and because what happens is there's themes. You know, after doing this for a while, you realise that we're really unique human beings, but we're not actually that unique, because they're just themes.
They're different archetypes or different.
There's only a few places you can take this in terms of your limitations. So we start experimenting with that, and then once we get all of the beliefs out and into the group and out on the table, then we start looking at what the emotions are that are around that, and then we start doing emotional processing work in a group. So I'll have literally people bashing the shit out of their...
So you have your punching bag.
Out of their feelings of powerlessness, and punching the shit out of that, and meeting that. And it's just a matter of identifying what the blockages are and meeting it with your own will. And that's why it's not so much about, you know, bashing something or hurting something, and particularly not hurting yourself. It's more about raising your vibration to the level of that which is holding you back. So it's kind of like you just want to be met. You just have to meet that, let's just call it resistance, or that stuck energy. You have to meet it with your own energy. And once you do that, that's a conscious choice to actually meet that which is blocked and stuck, and that which is blocked dissolves. And it's really that simple.
It's almost like acknowledging the things there and...
Yep. And then raising your vibration so it's the same vibration as the blockage.
Yeah, so it's almost noise cancellation.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it cancels it out.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've seen it over and over and over again.
Cool, so that's like a process you would do once a week, once a month, something like this? Or?
It's a 3-day workshop, Friday night, Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
And for you, okay, I did big money stuff 10 years ago, and that's when I set all of my business goals for the Gratitude Diary. Yeah. And I'm just readdressing it now, so I'm doing my money work again. Yeah. Because I'm just about to release a soul and money workbook I'm going to sell.
Ooh, so that's exciting.
Yeah, so I thought, well, okay, well, it's time to do my work again.
Yeah.
So I'm actually right now redoing. I'm doing my money work right now again.
Beautiful.
It's not something you need to do once a week. I believe it's only something you need to do once.
Yeah.
Or once every 10 years.
Yeah, once a decade.
Yeah, once a decade.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, you were running them for others regularly?
Yeah,
or?
yeah.
Like
And
how regularly? That's what
okay.
That's what the question.
I'd probably do 4 a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we call it maybe equinox or whatever. Or?
Yeah. Or I'd be invited to go into a company.
Yeah.
I once did a soul and money workshop for a company called Shine in Sydney. They were doing great things for the planet and for the world, but they had internal, structures that needed consciousness brought to it. So I just went in and worked with the whole team. It's brilliant. Beautiful. Absolutely brilliant, because then everyone's on the same page.
It's good work to get everyone aligned when the whole machine's working together. It does help, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And so talk to us about the Gratitude Diary. How did that, you said it just was on a whim, and tell us, I know there's a story attached to it. But,
it was kind of a whim, it was kind of a trauma as well. So I was building my dream home with my beloved fiance, and we...
So this is 11 years ago.
Yeah. And we were kind of spinning our wheels. We had withdrawn all of the equity out of home and just spending the money in order to build a new house. Yeah. And after 5 years, the house actually never got off the ground. We bought a relocated home, brought it onto the block, and for some reason, I don't know why, neither of us had experience in building, and neither of us had experience in spending money. I'd always been really good at creating it, but had never spent it because I just didn't know how to spend it. So we blew it, and I ended up putting a match in the house that we bought because it was going mouldy. And
this was up in
Rosebank, up in the hills.
Humid and...
it was humid, and it just exposed an open building with plaster walls and timbers and stuff, soft timbers sat there on the block. Yeah. And we ran out of money, basically. So
the match was what? To get insurance money?
No. Do you think I would say that? No, I just... What was it? The flow was not happening. Yeah. It was just not happening, and I got to a point where I needed to do something drastic. I needed to end the trauma of continually spinning our wheels in the wrong direction, and neither of us would call it.
Yeah, none of you wanted to look at it.
No, we didn't. Neither of us. It's kind of that soul saying, throwing good money after bad. We had so much faith and so much optimism that we couldn't actually see that this wasn't happening. It wasn't working. We were living on our faith and optimism and on our equity.
That doesn't feed you, does it?
It doesn't feed you, and getting takeaways and it's probably spending way too much money than what we would if we were more conscious with money. So the house went down and went up in a puff of smoke, and the relationship did as well. Yeah. And I just was left at the end of that just having faced bankruptcy pretty much, because I didn't really have any real means of meeting that mortgage. So I was only carrying a mortgage of about $100,000, and then was carrying a mortgage of $400,000. Yeah, after the house had gone, and this was back when interest rates were up around 7-8%. Wow. So and then it was full on, and then I separated the relationship, so I was kind of left holding the baby, holding the mortgage. Wow. And it was a crisis. It was actually a crisis.
Real life crisis.
It was a real life crisis, and I'd already left the mental health industry. I'd already left work, so I had to choose: do I go back into a job and get a job to pay the mortgage? But in order to do that, I'd have to go against my values. So and I couldn't. Right? I was stuck.
You'd already made that decision.
I couldn't go back. Do I? Yeah, well that was the only choice. Do I go back or do I not? And I decided not, and I decided to stand my ground. And just communicate. So the banks would ring me and they'd be pretty, hardcore. And I would just say to them, look, thank you so much for ringing. I know you're having a really, this is your job, but I actually don't know how I'm going to pay this, and I don't know how I'm going to fund the loan. I just don't know. At the same time,
so they're calling you every day, kind of thing.
Yeah, it was full on. It was really, really, really full on. So what I did, rather than go back to work, all I did was I just started practicing gratitude. That's what I did. It was like, go back to work and do a job that you know is not, it'd probably make me sick. It would probably make me sick.
You might get chronic fatigue again.
I would. It was either that or start practicing gratitude.
Yeah.
And
so where did that come from? That seems like a random choice to make.
I didn't have anything else to do. We weren't building anymore. My partner had left. I'm kind of going, whew, I'm in this space. I'm in this void, in this kind of void, and I'm in trauma, and I'm in shock. So
where did the download, or where did the idea to practice gratitude come from?
Look, because I was getting really caught up in my own, self, kind of woe is me kind of feeling, like, oh wow, I've really messed up.
Yeah, well, I can imagine.
I'd lost all my money.
Yeah.
$300,000,
predicament.
just gone. My entire life's kind of creativity gone in 3 years.
Yeah.
So I was verging on depression. And so I had to make a choice. I was like, okay, I keep hurting myself with the ideas that I've lost, or I just be present and be grateful for the fact that I'm still here. It's a beautiful day. I live in the Northern Rivers. I've got a house with ocean views in the house I was living at the time. And I just start looking at what is actually good.
Yeah. Just appreciating what you do have, rather than focusing on, oh wow, my life's so shit right now.
Yeah, that's it.
So that just came to you like, well, I could keep doing this thing, but it's not going to do anyone any benefit.
Yeah, I could keep hurting myself. I could go back to work, or I could just suck it up and go, you know what, it's not really that bad. And I think there was a war happening at that time over in Syria, and there were people getting, blasted out of their homes, and all sorts of crazy things happening in the world. And I just compared myself to what was happening in the world, really. So that's what I did.
Gave yourself a bit of perspective.
I remember just the very first day I kind of, made this conscious process. I was just sitting there in my meltdown, and I was just looking at these beautiful poached eggs that I made that were sitting on a couple of beds of salad and a bit of dukkha, and there was dukkha over the eggs, and they were so nice. And I remember just looking at them and really appreciating them, and then just eating them. And I think the first time I actually tasted my food, because I was in such a hyper state of awareness and alert, like anxiety, not alertness, but anxiety-driven kind of state, that I wasn't tasting my food properly. I wasn't resting properly. I wasn't relaxed. And then it's like, oh wow, I actually tasted my food because I gave it appreciation. Yeah.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
And then, so that was like a penny drop kind of moment?
It was a penny drop moment, and then a whale breached out of the ocean.
What do you mean, like
Well, sitting on my veranda.
Oh, because you can see the ocean.
Yeah, and a whale breached.
Just like, you're like...
It was like, oh, that's pretty cool too.
So you're like, I'm going to pay attention.
I'm just going to pay attention. That's exactly what I said. I'm just going to pay attention now.
Yeah.
I'm going to smell the roses.
Yeah.
Actually smell them.
Actually get them.
Yeah.
Really take a deep inhale.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's it. It takes a second.
And you started practicing gratitude, and you have the banks calling you, and
yeah, but by that time I was just well into the process of gratitude. So that fear that I was feeling and anxiety around, the fact that I was going bankrupt, that it just kind of all dissipated. And I remember it being, I kind of felt like that there was an energy that was surrounding my being, like my aura, and it was protecting my auric field.
This was the gratitude kind
The
of
practice
energy.
of gratitude, yeah. It was like a shield actually from all negative kind of feelings and thoughts, and it was like this shield that just, it really was, and I still feel it now. If I keep doing the practice, I just kind of like feel shielded from...
Force field.
Yeah, it's a force field.
Yeah. It was like all the negativity just bounces off you.
That's it.
It makes you like
Jedi.
water off duck's back.
Jedi warrior. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And then so from there, tell us, so the whale breaches.
Well, and I keep
I'm
practicing.
still wondering what happens with the banks calling. How did that happen?
I couldn't pay, and I just said to them, I can't. What are you going to do? It's heaviness, and so I actually don't know what I'm going to do, and I can't pay, and I'm really sorry, but I will, keep you updated at every turn, but I just don't know what's going to happen next. I was literally living in a suspended state of I just don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
And you're just upfront with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not afraid.
Yeah.
I wasn't afraid.
How did they respond to that?
I don't think they knew how to handle it.
Yeah.
They were miffed.
Yeah.
And they said, well, we'll be calling you tomorrow. Absolutely. You do what you need to do. I know you're just working for a company and you're doing your job, but I can't give you what you're asking. They're asking for dates and deadlines and promises. And I just said, I can't make you any promises. I can't give you anything formal because I'm having a meltdown and I'm practicing gratitude every day, and I don't know what's going to happen next. I literally don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, you have to put yourself in a really vulnerable position to be able to say that, Yeah.
So they were just like, okay.
Well, no, they didn't say okay. They kind of just went silent, really.
Yeah.
But what did happen? So I listed the property for sale and let go. What happened was I let go. Put the property on the market, cleaned it up, let go. Within, 6 months.
Clean up the ashes.
Yeah. Within 4 to 6 months, I think the whole thing was dealt with and done and dusted. But I let go way before this property was sold and way before the problem had resolved itself. I just let go on it. I let go on the problem and basically said to God, well, you're going to have to sort this out because I'm screwed. And I'm not going back to work.
Yeah.
So sort it out.
So you made that decision in that moment.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
My whole entire life savings, I ended up getting 2 bidders at the auction. It was passed in at auction, but then 2 buyers fronted up, and I wanted $400,000 for the property, which would pay off my mortgage. And so I was offered my 400, and a couple of days later I was offered 420, and then a couple of days later I was offered 440, and I ended up making $40,000 more than what the actual thing was worth. And then with that $40,000 I went and bought another property, and I've subdivided that now. I've developed a property that actually has probably made that money back 3 times.
Nice.
Yeah, 3 times.
So you're wise with your investment.
Yeah, I've always have been. I've been really good at making it.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the gratitude you've been practicing since then? Like
Totally. Well, okay, so I have to practice it because I've got this book now. But my flatmate...
Gotta walk the talk.
Gotta walk the talk. So my partner moved out, flatmate moved in, and he said to me, what are you doing? Why are you carrying around all these books? Because I had my diary and my kind of appointment diary, but I had a journal diary.
Like your thoughts diary. And then your appointments diary.
Exactly. So I carry out all his diaries and then
your gratitude diary.
And my gratitude diaries.
Yeah.
So he said, what are you doing? I was like, I'm just journaling. This is what I do. This is my job. This is my job. Just carry them to the beach or carry them out and sit in the park, and I just keep, because I was in trauma basically, so I had to keep just, reorientating myself to what was good every day.
Yeah.
And he said to me, he was a graphic designer, and he said, well, why don't we sit down and we'll design something that you can have all of these things just in one book?
Yeah.
And I just said, yes. Okay, and I said to him, I don't have any money. He says, yeah, I know that. But you're obviously into this.
Yeah.
So we sat down and we designed it, and the first thing I thought of was, well, I really, really want to help people understand the importance of the moon and the moon cycles.
So was that another diary that you had, a moon diary?
No.
As well.
It was going in this one.
Yeah,
it's not a moon diary, but I want people to know where the moon is, but I don't care what degrees it's in.
Yeah.
I just want to know where it is. I want to know if it's going up or down.
Yeah.
And I want to know when it's full, and I want to know when it's dark.
Yeah.
And that's, for me, that's a basic blueprint. If I kind of just can feel where the moon is, then that explains why I feel the way I feel. And that was really just the intent behind the moon in the diary.
Yeah.
What's happening on the planetary level.
Cool. And that process of designing it, were you like yes, and then from that moment you said yes to when you had the design? What are we talking, months, weeks?
Oh, 6 weeks.
Yeah. So you were just like, all right, let's do it.
We just blasted it, just did it.
Like a daily, like, all right, we're designing this and tweaking this.
Yeah.
Was that? I'm feeling like an excited energy. Was it?
Oh, it was great. It was great fun. Just watching it come alive.
Yeah.
It was mine, and it was all of my creative energy and everything that I wanted to say and do. And then I went and found photographs to put in. I was like, well, let's put a picture at the beginning of every month. So I'm, searching the net and asking photographers for the use of their artwork, and I'm making a gratitude diary. It was really fun.
And it was for you initially. You wasn't thinking about like taking it to the market, or?
Well, yes and no. But it's not like I think I was just getting more off on the creative process. But it's not like I said, okay, I'm going to do a business plan. I didn't have a business plan. No. I was just getting off on the creative process. Yeah. And
so you designed it 6 weeks. It's designed, and what happens?
Yeah, exactly. Then what happens? You're sort of sitting there going, what happens now? Because we've got this document, what happens now? Yeah. And I thought, well, I guess we've got to print it. Yeah. So then became the search of all, I contacted probably a dozen printing companies in Australia who all quoted me, over $25 per book to print.
Wow.
And then I realised, well, probably this book's going to
get 10 books.
You get 10 books, and again, remember, I still have no money at this point. So this wasn't done with any money. It was done by grace. Yeah. So then someone said, why don't you try China? And I did a bit of research on printing companies in China, and I ended up coming across a company that could speak English and spoke to me really well, and I ended up going to China.
Yeah. And printing X amount
I'm
of books?
printing 500 books.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you were like, all right, now. That took how long for you to make the order then?
10 weeks.
All right.
Yeah.
So wow.
Yeah, because they've got to go on a boat and be shipped over to Australia.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
Because is it more expensive if you do the air freight?
I don't think you could. I don't think you could. I mean,
it's just too heavy, is it?
Well, I had 16 pallets of diaries coming to Australia last year. 16 pallets. So that's bigger than his living room.
Yeah.
That would be half a plane.
Yeah, true. It's got to come like that. Yeah.
It's got to come.
But how many books? 500 can't be that much.
Well,
how many boxes is that?
I filled a container. You know how much those shipping containers? Shipping containers. I have to get a full container each time I bring my books in.
That's nowadays, but I'm talking the 500 order.
500's half a pallet.
So 50 boxes.
Yeah. 500.
And a lot of weight.
Yeah, it's about 35 boxes.
Yeah, and I imagine that would be really heavy and really expensive to send.
Really heavy.
So you've got 500 books and you've got them and you're just like, all right, cool, now what?
In my little basket off to the markets.
So you just stack a whole bunch of gratitude diaries in the basket and you go down to where do you go?
To the Brunswick Heads Market.
Just week after week.
I just go to the stall holders and show the stall holders, and then I would do another market, do the Mullumbimby market, and then I would literally just pull it out of the bag because I didn't have a stand, and just say, oh, I made a gratitude diary, do you like it? And they go, oh yeah, did you make this? And some people say, oh, that's really well done. I'd say, thank you, I just show people.
Yeah.
And then someone said, oh, you should go to such and such, you should go to Abraxas bookstore in Byron, she'd love it, Betty would love it. Oh great, okay, so I just take that lead. I go down, see Betty and say, oh, I brought someone at the markets and they said come and see you. And that was my marketing plan. It was kind of like, I just did what people told me to do.
Just went out there and saw what presented your product.
And again, because I'm actually practicing gratitude, I am actually living in the moment. There's something really beautiful about living in the moment, which is you're actually available for the next moment. If you are really governed by your mind or governed by your ego, you don't have a next moment because you've already got something booked in, right? Whereas for me, I was just living in the moment and basically moving according to what felt good. And if someone said, Betty's going to love this, I'm like, right, where's Betty? And I'm off to Betty's. And that's pretty much what I do now.
Living in the flow zone.
I'm just living in the flow zone. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Whereas I think if I sat and did a marketing plan or a business plan, or probably would have talked myself out of it actually, probably would never have done it actually.
We'd be like, whoa, that's a lot of work.
Well, that's a huge amount of work, you know, and I still had no money. So, you know. And
so people liked it?
Loved it.
Yeah.
They loved it.
And then you sold out of books after a while?
Pretty much. I printed 500 and I probably sold and you know, gifted. Well, I did. I sold probably 400 and I probably gave away 100 and everyone got one for Christmas that year.
Because you had all these?
Yeah, because I had them all. Yeah, and they had to go to home. So basically those 500 found homes. Yeah.
And that was a dated one? That was a 2006 or whatever?
That was a 2006. Yeah, 2006 gratitude diary.
Yeah. You still do you have a copy of it?
Yeah, everyone, That'd be a funny thing actually to take a photo of them all and line them all up, but I keep one of each one.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. I'm sure we could make that happen.
I reckon. Yeah.
So first year 500 had gone and then what, you're like, well, that was fun, that was hard work, where were you at?
Someone approached me that I wouldn't have done it again because I still had that money. But someone approached me and said, we like your gratitude diary. It was Brumby Books, and they said, will you be doing another print run? And I thought, oh, that's a really good question. Will I be doing another print run? And I had a distribution company approach me, and I'm like, well, yes, of course. How many would you like? So my next year's print run was 1,000.
Yeah, because you already had half of those sold or something.
Well, I knew that I could sell 500, so I thought, well, people know that maybe some of the people who bought last year will buy again. So I printed 1,000, and they all went. That was so fast.
They got snapped up.
They got snapped up.
You're like, why did I do 2,000?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Amazing. But you never know, do you?
Just don't know. Don't know. And then the following year I did 2,500.
Wow. So that's
That was a sellout year.
That's 2008 now.
Yeah, up to 8, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8.
And then so you just ran with it. So you're making money essentially, or you're breaking even.
It took 3 years to actually kind of get myself into the black. Yeah. But being in the black, so exciting, and I didn't mind that it took 3 years because I could see that it was going in the right direction. So even though I still didn't have any actual money, I was putting every cent I earned back into the business. But I could see that if I kept doing this, and if I kept printing an extra 1,000 every year, that in 10 years' time I'd be selling 10,000 books. And then I did the maths on 10,000. It was like, woo!
We're heading serious blocks.
Well, yeah. So that was my business plan. If I can have a 10% increase every year, or an increase of 1,000 books every year, I should say, in 10 years' time I'll be selling 10,000 copies. Yeah,
and here we are 10 years later.
10 years later, 13,500 copies last year.
Wow.
Next year will be 16,000.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So my business plan has it's blown itself out.
Reassess.
I have to reassess.
Cool.
Yeah.
And that's amazing, by the way, so good work.
Yeah, thank you.
So much to learn from that story as well, like there's the tenacity, the I see it as like an entrepreneurial spirit to go out there with your basket of books, to strangers. Like, do you have any sales training? Or,
no.
Yeah, that's pretty out there. A lot of people would be afraid to do that. I've been in sales. I've done sales a lot, like door to door, business to business kind of stuff, speaking to strangers, and it's not easy. The amount of people say no to you.
But it's not sales. It's not sales at all. I'm never sold.
It sells itself.
I'm little Melanie coming home from school who's just done a painting, and I'm showing people my painting.
Yeah.
Look what I did.
Yeah.
And then, so people can't say no to that.
Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah.
I think if you're living according to your soul's vibration, if you write a song, or if you paint a picture, or if you make a book, and you show it to people because you genuinely are proud of what you did, that's a very different exchange from selling Nike sneakers at the markets or
100%. But at the same time, it's scary as fuck. Like, and I think that's even harder for people when it's something that they believe in and love so much.
Yeah.
Here's this song I made.
Yeah.
Can you have? What do you think? That's putting yourself raw. You're the product. What I mean? It's like, that's scary. What if they say no? What if they react adversely? I think that's even more commendable than if Nike shoes. It's just like, whatever. I didn't have nothing to do with it.
I didn't choose the colour.
It's just my thing from my heart and soul. That's even scarier.
Yeah.
So that's amazing.
But my theory though is that's where the abundance comes from. My theory is that if you back up your creative expression, if you're willing to stand behind yourself, and we're coming back to alignment now and working in alignment with your values as opposed to not. If you're willing to do that, you cannot go wrong.
To back yourself.
Yeah.
And you're practicing gratitude the whole way. You still keep one of these diaries and you utilize it for the main reason that you made it for in the first place.
Exactly.
For all your appointments, all your gratitude, all your moon.
All my moon
cycle,
time, all my moon cycle. I put my women's moons in there as well, so that I know where I'm at hormonally with relation to what's going on with the moons. It's got everything in it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And you said this year was the 9th year, so 2017.
So 2018 is going to be the 10th year.
Anything exciting happening for that one, or?
It's just the best ever. I've already designed it.
Yeah.
Melissa Williams is a beautiful girl from Melbourne, and we work together now on the graphics, and we're swooning. Oh my god.
It's got a special cover.
This is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it is. It's actually the best ever.
It's exciting. And do you have any? I know you mentioned something about an affiliate program or something.
Just got that up and running. In fact, I was determined to get that sorted out, so I had an all-nighter almost, and I've got my affiliate program now sorted out, so that if anyone wants to sell it, they can literally put their link up on my website, and that will just go directly through to my website. I will post it out. I will do all the running around. There'll be gift wrapped. Everyone that goes out now is gift wrapped.
Beautiful.
And then the commission on that just goes directly back to
wherever the link
comes from. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. So we'll get some of those details for you after about where to find the book and such. But I'm curious to know, for you, what was some of the keys? Like, what would you say? Because for me, looking out from an outsider, is like, wow, there's so much to learn from that story that you shared. The trusting, you trusted in, the universe and God, and you're like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to practice gratitude, so that in that there's like an idea of listening and just opening to whatever may be, to really align with your values. But what, from your perspective, what were like the main aspects do you feel of your success? That's an incredible success story, essentially, of what you just shared. What were the keys for you?
Probably the love. What I ended up just discovering in this process was that I could write. And so I developed these processes for people, little pages every month, the people's pages basically, to do a little bit of emotional processing within the book. And I discovered that, I had different things that I used to do for myself that I could share. So just in my willingness to share with other people what worked for me, so that my sharing comes from an authentic place, then just in that willingness, I think that is why it has been so successful, because you can get a gratitude diary off Amazon.com. In fact, you can get 50. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of gratitude diaries out there in the marketplace, but why do people buy mine? And everybody says you give so much of yourself inside the book. I absolutely love it, and I feel like I know you, and I feel like I cannot go a year without your gratitude diary, because we kind of, the way that I write and express myself is that I actually just share where I'm at and what's going on and how I've been able to navigate. And I consider that I'm in exactly the same place as everybody else. I'm no further advanced or no further behind. I am actually, we're
just the same as you.
We're just the same, right? So if I can just offer something that has worked for me, then I'm going to share that, and that's my business plan. It's just being real. Yeah,
sharing some of yourself. So that's been the main factor you would say in the success, is like just being real, being you, being authentically yourself.
Yeah, just being myself. And I see, I've always struggled with hype, marketing that's got a lot of hype, and marketing that is, all about, we can heal you, and this is great, everything's great. Everything's not great, everything's not great. We have good days and we have bad days, and what we really just have is ourselves, and we have to just learn how to navigate ourselves and learn how to be balanced. We can't always be up and in the light. In fact, like when The Secret came out, that movie about The Secret and the New Age movement, if you like, the whole New Age movement to me is bullshit. Yeah. It's absolute bullshit, because there is, being positive, and there's positive affirmations, and there's all of that stuff to be made, for sure. But if you don't deal with your trauma, and if you don't deal with your state and your negative beliefs and your negative emotions that you carry, if you don't deal with that, no amount of enlightenment is going to make you happy. Yeah. So it's just, for me, it's about being real. Yeah. It's being real with what is. What is. Yeah. And what is good. Yeah. Even shitty stuff is good. And that's, I must say this, people think that you have to write down what is good, okay, even if you're having a really, really bad day. No, you don't have to write, you don't have to find something that's good. You have to find something that's good about having a bad day. Yeah. So what good came from you having a meltdown? The person breaking up with you, losing the house, the $400,000, the person who, your brother who just committed suicide, so on and so forth. Yeah. What did that bring you? Yeah. What is that, and what are those negative things or those traumatic things? Even in the past, what good came from you being an abuse victim, or you who had parents who broke up? What came from that? And what came from that is you. And that's good. What are the blessings in the crises? Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And that's close to my heart. Obviously I've had, anyone who knows my story knows I've lost people dear to me, and know that I've been through some interesting upbringing, to say the least, and I think a lot of people can relate. If they've had someone in their life that they've blamed, a mother who left them, they blame her for the abandonment stuff, or a father who abused them, or they blame him for being such a cunt, or such a bastard, and they want to blame him just for the negative. Yes. But then they become this amazing, resilient, strong, outgoing kind of powerful kind of force in the world, because they've had to be strong and independent and whatnot. Yes. But they don't want to blame them for that part of themselves. Or acknowledge them for that. It's blaming as well. It's just a different form of blaming. You blame them for the positive aspects. You can't just blame one side, because that's what causes the depression, the anxiety, the stress, and all those other things we were talking about, the chronic fatigues, and we can't have that one-sided blame. So for me, gratitude is huge. For me, I've created the gratitude Qigong set. That's the one thing I share with the world, and it's what we practice this morning. How we bring the gratitude in, and we feel the gratitude after we've charged our energy up. Yeah. We've charged our chi up from the set. Then we bring in gratitude, think of all that we're grateful for, we feel it in the body, and then we send it out to our entire reality.
And the reason why I included in that, and that's something that hundreds and maybe thousands of people have practiced now, and is because how powerful it's been in my life, because I've had those, kind of messed up, quote unquote messed up, kind of experiences in my life, but I wouldn't be the person I am without those experiences. And if I neglected to be grateful for those, then it's like I'm only looking at things one-sided.
Exactly.
So I totally agree. And where would you say, where to from now? You said the money, soul and money. Is that that's exciting? That's some news for me. So you wanna is it what do they call
Is it on my vision board?
I was gonna say, is it can't think of the word, but is it like top secret, or is it like you can share about it?
No. I mean, it's always there. It's just something that is always there, and I guess just because I'm just resetting, I'm doing my work again this year, so that's going to go into the gratitude diary. It's just going to be a lot about money.
So it's going to be an aspect of the same product. It's not going to be a standalone thing.
It's a standalone thing, but I'm exploring within the 2018 gratitude diary. I'm exploring the issue of abundance again, because you have to keep coming back, you have to keep readdressing this, and I do. So the gratitude diary is basically me doing my own processing work. So I'm doing the work, so that's going in there. At the same time, I realise I've got this workbook that I created years ago and I've never published it. So I'm actually putting some really beautiful graphics to my existing workbook, and I'm going to basically sell that to people, perhaps with a little online course or with a one-on-one kind of mentoring process, so that rather than 14 people come to me, I can just get 1,400 people to do it, and we'll do it online. And
that's the beauty of the technology these days. You can reach so many people.
Skype.
You can have the webinar software. You can have 10,000 people that you're talking to at once.
Exactly.
More people. And running them all through this thing. So that's what I love about it. I love that millennial kind of the Snapchats and the Instagrams, and I'm all about that. So
it's all there.
And with that, so that's something coming in now. And what else? You're going to just roll with this gratitude diary? What's your plans for the next little bit? Where to from here?
Well, I've got a deck of cards coming out. So I've actually done an abundance deck. I've been working on that in the last 3 years. And they're coming out this year as well.
This is Melissa Williams involved,
You're just going to love these cards. People love cards.
Like a tarot type deck?
It's like a tarot type deck.
And so you have readings and...
And we're looking at what the shadow is, shadow aspects to anything that's blocking abundance. And anything to create abundance. We've got some goddesses in there who are the abundant goddesses, and we've got emotions in there that you're looking at, and we've got shadow that needs working with, and we've got God as an aspect in there. So these are cards and I've never seen an abundance deck. You see angel cards and the inner child cards and stuff. I've never actually seen an abundance deck. I don't know, they might be there, but there's going to be one there in a minute.
Maybe there's one in the whole deck.
Maybe one card. This is a whole deck around abundance. So that just goes hand in hand with the soul and money workshop, really. So
tell us about, what is abundance to mean to you? I know this word gets thrown around. I think we mentioned it before, but to you, what is? I don't think I asked you this question. What does abundance mean to you?
To me, it's. I just believe that every single person on this planet is a divine child of God, and He would not put us down here to starve. And there is enough. There is absolutely enough love and food and housing and money, and there is enough resources here for everyone. But we've just messed up. We don't distribute the resources effectively enough. So you can look at what's blocking us from feeling. See, my theory is, if you can feel that, the truth of that, which is that we're all divine children and that we're all actually here to be taken care of, if we can feel that, we can create that. But if we can't feel that, and we don't believe that, if we think that somehow we missed out on that ticket, if we think that, then you can create a life where you're just constantly thinking that you missed out on that divine birthright. And so the workshops and the cards are designed to just remind you that, no, you're no different to me, to anyone. This is the truth. This is the deal. This is the deal. Yeah. Get back on track.
And what would you say to people who have forgotten that? How do it's easy to say that in theory, but what about the practice? Like, if people, I know there's times where I'm feeling shitty or feeling out of alignment or forgetting those the facts as well. Like, what would you recommend in those periods?
I would say to you, when are you going to be ready to meet that in yourself?
So let's just throw it back on them.
Well, remember we were talking earlier about just like meeting the frequency of the belief with a higher frequency, or with just and matching that. I mean, I had to go through a lot of self-worth issues. I processed self-worth issues for like 5 years because I had worthiness issues, and we don't come with inbuilt worthiness issues, inbuilt sense of, I'm worthy, especially if we weren't reflected that worthiness from our parents. So we have to cultivate that, but I'm always interested in, what's the truth? And the truth is that we're all worthy, irrespective of whether that was modelled in earlier years or not. And so in order for the heart to break open and to know that that's the truth, you have to feel the unworthiness, to know that you are actually worthy. So this vulnerability is needed. Yeah.
And like a willingness to be vulnerable
and to feel your unworthiness, as opposed to trying to move away from it, as opposed to doing the next course, to doing the next great thing that's going to make you the money or it's going to make you feel worthy. You can go and get a university degree, or you can sit and feel the places where you feel unworthy, and it's going to probably have a much faster and direct path into the truth of your being, which is that you are.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
It's like seeing it, and like you said, meeting it, going up and introducing yourself.
I just see society and people running away from their trauma.
Yeah.
I see them running, and especially men.
Yeah.
Because it's conditioned that men
have to be tough.
And that
not cry and
not show emotions, and you're all little gods.
Yeah.
So you're running to kick your goals and to get make shit happen and stuff. But I see the shadow like running after you. Hey, I'm still here. And you just gotta stop. Sometimes I just want to grab people. I'm just want to say stop.
Yeah.
Stop and just sit there and just be with the pain. Just be with it. Turn around and meet it, even for a day.
Yeah. Even for a moment.
Even for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, take a week.
Yeah.
But I don't see that in society. I see coffee.
TV.
I see TV. I see sex. I see dating websites.
Yeah.
And I see,
Swipe. Scroll. Yeah.
Maybe the next relationship will, give me the thing, or maybe the next girl will give me the thing. And
the alcohol.
The cigarette, or the thing, or the next big, crazy business venture. The next thing is like, oh God, just sit down, shut up, really. Listen.
Yeah. I get it.
You get it?
And this is why I want meditation, mindfulness. I believe it should be the compulsory, math, science, English.
Meditation.
Mindfulness practice every single day.
Yeah.
It should be beyond any of that. So,
yeah.
And that's exactly what you're talking about, being okay with the moment, being okay with what is now.
Okay with it, but then feel it. Be willing to feel it.
Good, bad or ugly, no need to judge it, just look at it.
Just is.
Give it a hug.
Yeah. Yeah, it just is.
Yeah.
Take a bath.
Amazing. Is there anything that you'd like to share, any kind of, I don't know, like is there any people that you're into right now, anyone you're reading, anyone you're listening to, any mentors you've had, any? Yeah,
okay, so my favourite people, my top favourite people that have supported me in my journey.
Yeah.
So it started probably with
AJ Williams?
AJ Miller. It didn't start with AJ
Yeah.
Miller. But he's up my top 5 people.
And who is he? Just because I have no idea who he is. Tell us about him.
So he's got a website called divinetruth.com.
Mm-hmm.
And AJ is probably the master in getting really, really honest with your emotional body. He, more than anyone that I know.
Beautiful.
He knows about the emotions. So he's like number 1. If you want to do some serious work on yourself and save a fortune in counselling and psychotherapy, just go and watch AJ Miller's. Everything that AJ Miller does is free.
Yeah.
Alright, so you can go on his YouTube site, and I think he's got over 500 lessons in life that go for about 2 hours each.
Well, you'd be there for months.
Well, yeah, you kind of are. I was.
Beautiful.
But yeah, so AJ Miller, my second top favourite person is, this is not in order, Ramtha the Enlightened One.
Yep.
I love Ramtha.
Tell us about Ramtha.
Ramtha's a 35,000-year-old being who was a Lemurian.
Yep.
And he had a lot of grief come up when he's got full conscious memory of his life in Lemuria with the Atlanteans. So the Lemurians and the Atlanteans lived together, and the Atlanteans considered themselves a higher species of people.
Then the Atlanteans were like, Lemurians, come on man, you know what's up.
Yeah, exactly. It's like probably the first form of racism ever on the planet.
They were like the slaves.
Yeah, they were. The Lemurians were the slaves, and the Atlanteans were, the Atlanteans did not value the Lemurians, and they wouldn't feed them, and they starved, and they died. And Ramtha's mother, who was raped by an Atlantean, had a child.
Can't be that high if you're raping people.
Well, it's just sex, isn't it? It's just, it's just Lemurian or whatever.
Yeah.
Fell pregnant, and and she died trying to suckle the baby. This is Ramtha's sister, and he got so full of rage that he kind of had like a spontaneous enlightenment. He climbed a mountain. He was only 16 years old. He climbed a mountain and he screamed and screamed and screamed at God until his lungs popped out, literally. And he had a divine intervention. And this is documented. This story is documented in lots of ancient texts. But he then became so empowered as a being. He came down from the mountain with a sword, with a 1.2 meter long sword, and he started killing the Atlanteans. And what happened was he was the first man to stand up and revolt against the inequality that was being faced. So he ended up creating an army of 1 million people, and then they killed a lot of the Atlanteans. They slaughtered them, and then they started moving around the globe. They went to Spain, they went to Rome, they went to all of the old countries, and they just fought. About 10 years into Ramtha's war, and I think it was the war against himself, because he was so pissed off, he then kind of stopped and went, well, what is all this killing actually achieving? I have my power now. I have power, I have an army, but what is this achieving? So then he turned back and he faced his soldiers and he said, let's fight a different battle. And he started to teach them about consciousness. And Ramtha still, to this day, teaches people about consciousness. So he has a school in the States. It's called Washington. It's not Washington, D.C., it's Washington State. Yeah. And he has probably 5 or 6 big training centres a year. And there's massive, big old horse sheds. And last time I was at training school, I was probably there with 2,000 people. And we're all sitting in a shed. Ramtha comes into the room. And how he does that is, there's a woman called Jay-Z Knight, and he inhabits her body. And I've met Jay-Z Knight. She's blonde. She's about a 60-year-old woman in the States. And I've met Jay-Z.
Lovely little woman.
Just a cute little woman.
Yeah.
And then I met Ramtha in Jay-Z's body, and it's kind of like, holy shit.
Full transformation.
Full transformation.
Facial features, everything.
This is not like a trick. This is not a good actor. This is a very, very wise, enlightened being who comes into Jay-Z's body. Jay-Z goes out of her body entirely. She goes back to point zero, so she goes back into consciousness. Yeah. She's not there. She's not present. There's no aspect of her ego or personality.
So she can't recall.
She cannot recall. She doesn't know what happened. She's not at the teachings. Ramtha is in the house. So we talk with Ramtha and we chat and we do things, and he gives lectures and discourses, and then he sends us out. The thing I love about Ramtha, he sends us out into the field, and we do field work to practice our manifestation skills.
So you're telling me a story about one of those.
Oh God, what a story! I decided that not only am I going to be like good at Ramtha school, but I'm going to be the best at Ramtha school. So this is one of his exercises. He puts that, if you can imagine 500 people on a football field. We've all drawn our intentions. So I've got my intention card. And I think my intention card was enlightenment. But I drew this, I want to be fully conscious in this lifetime.
Yeah.
So I drew this big picture, and then we all hand our cards into the facilitators. They plug them on the fence and the football field. We have to put blindfolds on. We've got to spin around 100 times.
Wow.
Right, and we've got to breathe our way back to our card. So
you find like your senses and just allow that to like a tracking dog or something.
Well, it's about the law of attraction, like the real law of attraction. So my card is my frequency, right? So my card is me. So if I get deeply enough into my frequency in my body, and how I do that is I raise my energy through breath. So you're breathing like crazy. There's a particular breath that he chose us. So we're breathing and we're walking. So I'm raising my consciousness through the breath. My mind is by this time obliterated because I put so much oxygen into my brain. This is my dog coming into the room. Hello.
Yeah.
So much oxygen in my brain that my ego is barely even present anymore because my brain's just fully lit up. So then what we have to do is we have to let the body choose. So the body then starts moving on the field, fully lit up, and I'm walking towards this fence, and I decide that I'm going to be the first person out of 500 people to find their card.
Yeah.
Walking towards the fence, I'm breathing like crazy because I'm doing this. I'm going to be the best drama student.
So you're there blind essentially because you can't see.
I'm blind, spinning around, just no idea.
Yeah.
I hit this woman, we bump into this woman, and she pushes me off my course.
Yeah.
So I push her back, but then she pushes me back. We're fighting on the field. We're getting into our warrior.
Reminds me of the Seinfeld episode.
It was a bit like that. The facilitators must have been laughing because there's just two people fighting on the field. Anyway, we get to the fence and I push her, out of the way because she was about to take my card, and I fought her. Yeah. Like I've never seen her, but I know it could have been a man. I don't know. Yeah. I just
fat breast as you were pushing.
I just like, you're not standing in between me and my card, bitch. Back off. Yeah. Anyway, so I push her into the fence next to me. She grabs the card next to mine. She grabs it, and it was her card. Yeah. And she goes, card! And I'm like, bitch! I'm supposed to be the first one. Anyway, but I grabbed the one that I wanted anyway. Yeah. I get the one that I wanted. I didn't know if it was mine. Card! I'm like right there on her tail. Yeah. But I pushed her into hers.
Yeah.
So I consider.
I
was first. Yeah, so I consider that's what you do at Ramp for School.
Yeah.
That's the ramp for school.
Excellent. So that's one of the exercises.
Yeah. And it was my card.
Awesome. So it was your card.
And it was mine. Yeah. Yeah, she tried to take it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing, and it sounds like fun. And that's the second. Who else?
Okay, AJ Miller rumped Brene Brown, particularly on her work around vulnerability.
Yeah. So for those who don't know about Brene Brown, I'm sure there's not that many, but
oh well, you can YouTube her. She's got lots of lectures on YouTube, but I think she's most famous for her work around vulnerability.
Okay.
I think she's pioneered that field because, it takes a lot of courage to be vulnerable. It takes a lot of courage to meet yourself, and if you can't be vulnerable with yourself, you cannot have a relationship with another human being because you can't be vulnerable with another human being. So her work on vulnerability is top notch. It's key.
She's like a key player.
Yeah, and that's what I'm studying at the moment. I've just got her new book now, and so there's going to be a lot of work on vulnerability in next year's diary as well.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So that's your top three.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. There's more. Yeah. John Bradshaw and his work on shame.
Yep. Healing
the shame body.
Beautiful.
Yeah, again, there's not enough work on shame, what shame does, and the vibration of shame. Yeah. It's probably if you look at like emotions as a scale of energy, shame, you can have anger and it's like resonating kind of, I'll give a number, 80%, and you've got, sadness, which is resonating at kind of 60, and then you've got grief, which is down around 30. Yeah. Shame is the lowest vibrationary.
Shame, guilt, and dogma. On the scale of consciousness, it's like the scale goes up to 1,000. Shame, guilt, dogma is like 5, 10, 15.
Yeah. We're in the hellish realms now. Yeah. We're way down in there, but if you can't navigate those realms, if you can't like deal with shame, it becomes toxic.
Well, that's the worth stuff you're talking about.
That's the self-worth stuff again.
Yeah.
It's toxic shame.
Yeah.
So we have to all process our shame, and I think that's where, you know, the trauma such as sexual abuse comes from, sexual manipulation. All of that is rooted in shame. You know, the only thing under shame is death.
Yeah.
So John Bradshaw has a really beautiful book, but again, there's hardly anything out there on shame. There's a few books, but you could count them on one hand. You know.
Yeah, the important stuff. Also.
Yeah.
Were you going to say Napoleon Hill earlier?
I was going to say Napoleon Hill because that's where this all started. It was all about money.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I was like, I really.
Think and Grow Rich.
Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah. The original, The Secret.
The original secret. Yeah.
That's one book I've read over and over and over again, and I listened to it on the audiobook.
Well, you know, that book was written in the 1930s.
In the Depression, just after the Depression.
Yeah.
And there's like 10,000 hours of study went into writing, and decades, 2 decades.
It's the original text, and you know, people come and they copy the text or create a new workshop around it, but really it's the godfather of.
And there's one before, I can't remember exactly the title of it, but I've got it written down, but it's those universal principles, isn't it?
They never change. You can repackage them and you can sell them and you can make $1 million, but they're universal principles and they're free.
Yeah.
You know, they are. These universal principles are free.
Yeah.
So.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And awesome. Thanks for the tips and the shares there. Cause, I'm always interested in what, you know, been the big game changers for people. And
big game changers.
The big moments or the big kind of, the role models or, you know, people. I'm interested in that lineage of how you came to where you are now.
I'm interested in what's coming next because if I have a big shift in my process or a big, you know, teacher that comes along or someone that blows me out of the water, I'll always think that that's it. I always think that I've found the thing.
Yeah.
But actually, something else is going to come along that will probably blow me completely out of the water again. And that's just life.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
I am excited about the next gen. Like, that's super exciting for me. I was explaining to somebody today that I'm super optimistic, almost like delusionally optimistic, with a healthy dose of realism in there as well. Yeah. And what excites me is to see these kids coming through and what is the kind of like the solutions to climate change, the solutions to global warming, the solutions to pollution, the solutions to this kind of non-resource based economies and caste system, all of these kind of problems that we have, the inequality and things like poverty and things like this, super exciting for me, as well as climate stuff like environmentalism.
Absolutely.
So those two issues, like, we've pretty much solved a lot of the other issues, but those two I'm excited to see, because all the old people, you know, the old people, like, they're not going to be around. But the 20-year-olds, the 10-year-olds, the 2-year-olds, they're going to be here. You know, so I'm super pumped about that stuff as well, and as well as the futurism, the virtual reality, the robotics, and, you know, it's super exciting for me. So I'm pumped to speak to some more people about that as well, and also integrating those universal principles with these new technologies as well. And those old technologies, things like the healing modalities and the cleaning processes and the things we're talking about, yogas, meditation, all of these are thousands of years old. But then when combined with things like virtual reality, that's something that I'm excited about doing. Running classes on a virtual headset, people in Bahrain at my class, in the lounge room at my class that I'm running in a virtual space, like stuff like that really excites me.
Gorgeous.
And is there anything you'd like to leave everyone with?
Free copy of your very own gratitude. No, I can't do that. I haven't got any left.
2018.
I should do. I have 300 left. I have 300 2018 gratitude diaries left.
So if they write you somewhere and tell you a compelling reason why they should have a free copy for this one. And
this is what I want. I want to hear people's stories of gratitude. I want to know how their practice has affected their lives.
Okay.
I want a few testimonials, and I'll give 25 copies away.
Cool, and they'll just pay for postage, I imagine?
Yeah, pay for postage.
Yeah, beautiful.
I would love that, because I know that I've been personally affected by this practice, but I'm curious to know, like, do people who are practicing, do you get that shield around you like I get? Do you, have you become naturally more abundant and made more money and felt more nurtured? Has it opened doorways to you into your creativity, for example, that you just would never have come to had you have not been practicing? I'm just curious. Yeah. I'm really, really curious.
Beautiful. Yeah. So there you go. That's an amazing offer.
Yeah.
And where can we find you? What channels?
www.givingthanks.com.au.
Yep.
Facebook, Melanie Spears.
Yep.
Facebook, Gratitude Diary.
Facebook.com/Gratitude Diary.
Gratitude Diary, yeah.
Yep.
And I don't know, Hobart.
Come to Hobart.
Come to Hobart. Come and hang out with me for a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come hang out at the church.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time.
It was fun.
It's been fun, and look forward to next year and the year after, and the growth and seeing more amazing growth. It's been a pleasure chatting with you. And maybe we'll get you back again in the future as well. I'd love to if you're up for it.
I want to answer questions. Honestly, about people's abundance issues. I'm totally tuned into it.
So those channels.